Greetings. So this is going to be my next to last video. I'm going to do another one after this one, probably in a couple of days. It'll be before the new year, where I have said I'm going to have 30 videos in a row in January. I'm going to skip the 31st. But I want to talk about what I'm saying, planning my business, my social media presence, my real life presence, and worrying about my life for 2020. And I'm talking about mine, and hopefully it will get some of you to think, okay, what do I want to do in 2020? I'm obviously not the first one to do a video like this. I've seen a few of these videos by other people. I've seen some people sharing their thoughts on Instagram. Haven't seen anyone do it on Twitter yet. So maybe I'll be the first. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm going to share the video, so we'll see. But the reason I'm doing that is because, as some of you know, I turned 60 back in September. I've had a very weird year. I highlighted that a couple of videos ago, and it's time to put some depth into what I'm doing for my life and my business. It really is. And by that, it means I've had to focus a little bit more. I've had to sit down and think about things that I need to do more, things I need to eliminate, and I need to live a better life. I need to make more money. I have my mother that I still have to take care of, and I'd like to be able to do more things for her, as well as myself, than I've been able to do over the last few years, because it's a learning process. For those of you who don't know, my mother has dementia. She lives with me. I am the main caretaker or caregiver, as it is, and it takes a while to get used to it. And it's always changing. There are times when she's just the easiest person in the world to take care of. And then there's other times where it's just a fight. And you have to kind of keep your composure in a certain way. And you just have to get used to that. And over the course of the almost 3 years she's been here, I've grown a lot. She hasn't. And so my mind says, you know what, I'm ready to now get back fully engrossed in my business and my life. So here's some of the things I've been thinking about and things that I really want to address. One of the first things is I'm planning on killing 2 of my websites. I have 5. And I have 2 business websites that sometimes cross the exact same thing. My main business website, which is called Mitch's Blog, talks about leadership and diversity, employee relations, motivation. But my other website talks only about healthcare. And my business website, I talk about healthcare because I'm a healthcare finance consultant. And I did some separation at the time when I thought it was a smart thing to do, because I wanted a website for patients, people who might have questions on how to handle their medical bills and stuff like that. And that was really the audience I was shooting for. And early on, I got some of those people, and I was making a lot of money off of AdSense. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was averaging close to $500 a month off AdSense. I didn't know how it was happening, but I was taking it. And then that just dwindled. And now I don't think that I will make $100 this year off of AdSense. It's just not going to happen. And the thing is that most of the questions I get now, after all these years, are from people who are in healthcare, who are looking for free answers to questions. And I tell everybody, you get one question, and I answer the one question, and that's it. And I say, if you want more than what I'm giving you, you've got to basically pay me for the rest of it. Well, I need to have that more associated with my business than with my other website, so I'm shutting that one down. And it also means I'm shutting down that blog. I'm going to take some of that content and I'm going to repurpose it on my business blog, but that's what I'm going to do. So that one's got to go. And my other blog is my finance blog. It's called Top Finance Blog. I've had it for 10 years. I bought it off a guy a bunch of years ago, and that one used to make a lot of money, but it was mainly advertising money. The thing is that at that time, it was easy for me to write 2 or 3 articles a week for that one, as well as write for I'm Just Sharing, which is the blog I promote most off of here, and still be able to write for my other sites. And I just don't have that urge to do it anymore. So I'm going to shut that one down. Now, my hope is I can find a buyer, and it doesn't have to be anyone who buys, spends tons of money on it. But it does have that opportunity where if someone doesn't mind accepting guest posts for it, it could do really well. I'm just not in the mood because I cared about the quality of the articles I got. So it meant I had to read them all. I had to edit them all. Just ain't got time for that anymore. So that's going to save my mind a little bit. I'll take some of those and I will either repurpose them for one of my other websites, or I will repurpose them for my accountant because I write for my accountant and I get free accounting. So that's going to be important. Instead of having 5 blog website things, I'm going to be down to 3. In my business website, I actually have to finish modifying that. I've tried to get back or get into, what is this, the 21st century? Because my original website, or my business website, was created in 2002. And suddenly now we're looking at mobile. Almost nobody visits my website on mobile, but I want it to look better. And I want to drop down menus. I've got a hard-coded menu in there that slows everything up, and I can't modify it. So I had a friend of mine modify it so that it's got CSS. It's got this menu thing. I now just have to repopulate the thing. And once I get that, then I can make all my pages that. And I just need to get that done. So this is it. 3 websites down to that. I don't write for my consultant group anymore. None of them really cared about the blog anyway, so I'm going to be repurposing some of that as well. So like I said, down to 3. Well, okay, my accountants, I guess that's 4. But still, it's going to make my life a lot easier. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit more business marketing on LinkedIn. What I do now is I basically share, well, my YouTube videos from my business site. Every once in a while from this site, I share articles off of my business website. Every once in a while off of I'm Just Sharing as well. But I don't really market. I don't really direct myself toward anybody. I did a Facebook campaign. I paid a young guy to help me with a Facebook campaign. Okay, he asked me if he could do it, and I paid him for it. But I really want to do something on LinkedIn. I offer a service where I could be making big money, and it's just something that I really need to do. So really, LinkedIn is going to become a bigger platform for me in 2020. The next thing, I've already kind of started doing this, but I'm looking to do more socialization on Twitter and reduce the number of people I'm connected to. Now, it may sound contradictory, so I will explain it. One of the things that I've always done, at least for the last 3 or 4 years, is I share a lot of other people's content on Twitter. And I look at the home menu. In other words, you get to set up, different lists that you have. So I have the Syracuse list. I have like my friends list and whatever. But then you have that home list, which is everybody that you're already following. And so I go to that every once in a while, and I will take maybe half hour to an hour and look at everything that's kind of in there that I can see within that hour. Take a lot of that stuff, copy it, share it later on. And I never wanted to do what you call a quid pro quo thing with anybody. That's never really been my thing. But what I always have said, and I said this a long time ago, I've been saying this for years, is that I want to be connected to people who will actually engage in conversations every once in a while, who will share someone else's stuff, but doesn't only share someone else's stuff. And one of the things I've noticed from some of these people who I've been connected to a good long time, even longer than the policy I set, is that they pump their stuff out and that's it, or they just retweet everybody else's stuff and never offer anything new. They don't talk to anybody. It's almost like everything is automated. And that happens when someone gets to a level where, and I just noticed this, when they get like 25 or 30,000 people that they're following and are following them, and then they just basically stop talking. And they're comfortable just pumping stuff out, pumping stuff out, pumping stuff out. And whereas that's not necessarily hard to do, that's not really going to help me with business. I need to get conversations with people. I need to get people who are comfortable with me. I'm trying to get folks who subscribe to this channel to sometimes send me a question. Give me things that you want me to answer on things that I've talked about in previous videos, or maybe a video that you want me to talk about on something that I know. If it's about video games, don't even think about it, because I haven't played a video game, wow, since my dad passed away in 2002. So there you go. I know nothing about new video games. But there's a lot of things I know. There's a lot of things I can help people with. So there's that out there. But I get none of that. And I'm hoping to. And I think you start getting there when you start engaging people and you talk to people. And I put myself out there and I give it a shot. But I find that people who have these really big numbers, for the most part, don't do it. I have a couple of folks who have, but the rest of them don't. So if I go in and I see, wait, you know what, I shared this person's stuff like 6 or 7 times or whatever. Let me go look at their feed now. And now I see they've gotten a lot bigger than they were when I first connected to them. And all they're doing is pumping out their own stuff and not talking to anybody. Gone. Gone. And so I think I'm down to around 1,100 people that I'm following. I still have like 4,800 who are following me. But I still will talk to just about anybody. I don't believe that you just subscribe to someone because they subscribe to you, because a lot of people are talking about stuff I either am not interested in or I don't want to get into. So I talk to all the other people. So really, I want to do more engagement on Twitter. Facebook, Facebook is Facebook. Most of my friends are on Facebook. A lot of my relatives are on Facebook. That's just what that's going to be. That's my little personal bit of fun that I get to have. So that's that. Next, we're talking about presence. Now, Twitter is more about presence than it is business, but I also do try to conduct some business on there. But let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about the 2 channels I have. I have this channel here where I have about 450 subscribers, and I have my other channel where I have about 250. And one of the things is that I've been doing videos on this channel for a good long time. And it's time to get that higher than the 450. I mean, it's almost 10 years I've been doing the videos on here. So I have set a goal. I need to have at least 800 people on this channel by the end of the year. And I need to get my other channel up to 500 by the end of the year. Now, I'll talk about the other channel first. I mainly talk about leadership topics. Diversity here and there, but mainly leadership, customer service, employee relations. That's what that is, because that's one of the parts of business I do. I put my healthcare videos on that channel. And the thing is that I get almost no engagement on that channel. It is rare that anyone says anything. Early on they did. As a matter of fact, I talked about where the very first video I did on that channel is what's gotten me the one proposal that is my biggest shot at a big deal this year. And we're talking about something called Charge Master in Healthcare. I'm the only one who did one. So, you know, and I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, you know, that was just a one-off thing. I got lucky with it. I did 2 more videos on it. They did okay, but not as much as the first one. But leadership isn't a big thing for a lot of people. It really needs to be, because y'all tell me, do you work for someone who is a good leader, a really good leader? Be honest with yourselves. If you're saying no, they actually need to be seeing my other channel. And the link is down below. But why kill myself doing videos on that if no one is going to watch them? I write about it already. So I can just switch to that, give up the other one. And with this channel, it's almost the same thing. Now, I have violated what a lot of folks say, that you need to be a YouTube success, which means you're supposed to do niche videos, period. Well, you know what? I just can't do it. My niche, if I was going to do it, would be blogging and social media. But that isn't carrying anything. The biggest number of visitors that I've had for a video on this channel was when I talked about Verizon Fios when I was trying to get everything set up and how irritated I was with the process. I got 43,000 people to watch that. And it was interesting because it's got the most likes, but it also has the most dislikes. And, you know, I think that that channel probably generated more people who subscribe to this blog than any other video I've ever done. So I've been thinking about that. And I think that there are times where you have to be a little bit more direct on things. I know that I'm thinking about this 30-day thing. I'm going to have a couple of videos that are going to be a little bit more direct. Now, I don't cuss, and I try not to make people feel bad. But sometimes you just got to call out bad behavior where it is, and my goodness, it's time to do it. I have always tried to be the nice person and tried to change my words a little bit so that I don't get anyone really upset. And I'm still going to try to do that, but I'm still going to hit some topics, and they're going to be real topics. And that's just doing the 30 days. Now, after that, I might do some during the rest of the year. But I'm not only going to talk about blogging and social media. I'm going to talk about whatever I want to. And hopefully, I'm also going to offer tips to people who maybe they're looking to do something better or looking for some things better in their life. Don't know. But, it's just time to kind of do that. Now, why am I talking about presence in business? Because we get to the last thing that I'm talking about, which is life. And let's face facts here. Like I said, I'm 60. I'm within 5 years of Social Security, but I need to build up the nest egg. I mentioned wanting more money so that I can do more things for my mother and do more things for me. I need to do more things for the house. I just need to basically get myself in a better financial position. Not saying that I'm going to quit working at 65, but I feel that I'd probably have 5 to 7 years to really generate the kind of income that I was generating in the mid-2000s. And how did I do that back then? I got bold and I started reaching out to specific people or specific groups of people who I knew could use my services or could market me to someone else who uses my services. Now, obviously I can't travel anymore. I have to be here. But if I get my rate, if I can actually get my rate, I can travel every once in a while because I can afford to pay someone to come and stay with my mother for those few days. So it's one of those kind of things where I really have to do that. And the first thing I have to do is I have to deal with my anxiety. I have anxiety. I'm just going to tell it like it is. There are those times where I am doing so much work and I'm going along great. And then there's a few other times where I feel like I'm kind of paralyzed and I will sit for like 1 or 2 hours flipping back and forth through different social media sites, the same sites all the time, looking for something new instead of concentrating on something else. Why does that happen? Because I get anxious. I don't know really why. Actually, some reasons I do, some I don't. So I walk a lot. And walking helps to calm down the anxiety some. But I've come to a realization about anxiety. If you can pinpoint some of the things that are giving you anxiety, you have to sit back and you have to think, okay, what's the worst that can happen? And I've started doing that over the last week, and I've started to recognize, you know what? I'm having less anxiety because the worst thing that can happen in my mind is not necessarily the end of my life. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I certainly can't tell you right now. Maybe sometime during the year we'll find out. But, I've had this anxiety of something for the last couple of years, and now I have a chance to address it. And once I put in what the worst thing is that could happen, I said, you know what? That's not necessarily so bad. I don't want that to happen, but if that happened, I will find a way. And that's really a good way to deal with anxiety. But part of the anxiety is also the business. So that one basically says, you know what? You got to do your thing. What does that mean? It means you got to be a bit more bold. That's me. That's what I'm going to do with this YouTube channel. I'm going to do it with my business YouTube channel. I'm going to do it with my business website and my business blog, and I'm going to do it on LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, boldness is just one of those kind of things you have to do. You have to go for it. Why act in fear? Why act in worrying about someone else's mental state or how they're going to react to it? You know what? No one ever has cared about my mental state, so it's just time to get out there, say those things. I don't want to be one of those people who says something just to get attention or whatever. I'm not going to be one of those folks who does, what do they call those, prank videos? I'm way beyond that. I'm not going to say anything just to get people angry and get them here. That's not my style. But I am going to tell some truths. Some people aren't going to like it. Some people are going to say, what's about time? And I'm still not going to mention the orange guy's name. Y'all know who the orange guy is. And the last thing for me, I don't know if anyone else deals with this, is I need to sleep more. And that one is hard because I wake up during the night and I look at a camera feed to find out if my mother is awake and sitting on the edge of the bed. If she is, I have to get up and go and take her to the bathroom. If she's not, if she's still in bed, I get to go back to sleep. But knowing that that's something that's happening to me because my mom doesn't know how to get into bed on her own anymore, it's just one of those kind of things where it's sometimes hard to get enough sleep. That, and sometimes I have lows. I'm diabetic, type 2, and sometimes I don't eat enough food or just something happens and my glucose drops low and then I get all shaky. My heart starts beating really heavy. I have some stuff to help me kind of overcome that, but sometimes it doesn't work the way it needs to. For instance, one day last week, I slept 2 hours. That was it. Heart started beating really heavy. I was done. But luckily, most of my life, I haven't slept all that well, so that doesn't really faze me as much as it would other people. Still, I need more sleep. And over the last few days, this week, this holiday week, I have gotten more than 5 hours of sleep 4 days in a row. That's a big deal for me. So, like I said, I'm looking at my business. I'm looking at my presence in social media. I'm looking at my life because these are things that have to be done. That's mine. Now, I think that a lot of you at least have one of these, which is life. That you need to look at life, and if you got things that are holding you back or things that are making you feel bad, you need to do something about it. Take a true look at yourself. Think about the things that may be bothering you that maybe you say, you know what, I can deal with this, or find a way to get out of that. Don't just sit there and worry about it. If you do a business, like if you're self-employed, or even if you're working for someone else, and you're not necessarily happy with what's going on, take time to think, okay, what can I do to change my life as it regards this work that I do? Do I go to talk to someone in management and say, we need to change some things up here, or can we change some things up? Or do you need to go look for another job? Or do you need to get into another career? Or do you need to find a side hustle? We're in control of our own lives, y'all. I need to be more in control of mine. I'm in control of mine, but not to the degree I need to be. That's what I'm shooting for in 2020. That's why I'm going to be using my planner more. That's why I'm going to be writing in my gratitude journal more. I might even write in my daily journal where I just write stuff down, but I don't see that happening. I just got too much other stuff. If I'm doing all that, I might not do any work. I'll do work. Anyway, my name is Mitch Mitchell. This is my next to last video of the year. Let me know what you think. Do you have any areas that maybe you'd like to ask me to help you to refine your thoughts on that? Y'all let me know. Have a good one.